I'm Starborn. Remember, to be a star, you have to shine your own light, follow your own path, and not be afraid of the darkness, because that's when stars shine brightest. And in fact, if you've been looking at our website, starborninstitute.org, you would already know that the title of tonight's show is Secrets. And that is because we are having a new moon, really a glorious one, at 24 degrees of Libra. Libra rules the traditional 7th house of peace and partnership, and of law and legal contracts, of compromise and negotiations and diplomacy, and it rules love and marriage, and it also rules truces or treaties, and it rules beauty and decorating and the arts, and above all, it rules partnership. So the sun and the new moon in Libra are emphasizing all of those things, but they're going to come under a lot of pressure right now, and there can be a lot of tension around those things as well. And that is because the new moon in Libra, with the sun and the moon there at 24 degrees of Libra, are part of 6 planets in a harsh T-cross among cardinal signs. In other words, there's a lot of challenges to this new moon. And in fact, the most harsh challenge comes from Mars, which is retrograde in Aries and is opposing the sun and new moon. The odd thing about this is that the sun and the new moon in Libra are the only planets in an air sign. They're not fortified. There aren't any planets in Aquarius or in Gemini. But the same is happening with Mars. Mars is the only planet in a fire sign. There aren't any planets in Leo or Sagittarius. And so that Mars is not being fortified either, but they are strongly opposing each other. The real pressure comes from the fact that there can be jealous and competitors or arrogant people who simply want to have their own way, and they may be deciding, since Mars is retrograde, to push harder on the things that Libra represents, such as partnership and peace and the law. And the reason why they're pushing so hard is because they've already lost ground, and they are deciding they have nothing to lose by being even more aggressive. And so I think that what that represents is sore losers. There are some people around, and you may know them, who are sore losers right now, and they're just making a lot of noise, but they're really not achieving very much. These 3 planets are getting quite a challenge from the fact that there are 5 planets among the sturdy, industrious, hardworking earth signs right now. And 3 of them are in Capricorn. And that is Saturn, Jupiter, and Pluto in Capricorn. And Saturn's the ruler of Capricorn. And they are squaring that Mars in Aries, and they are squaring the sun and new moon in Libra. So even though the lights are in the sign of peace and partnership, they're sort of taking a beating right now. And there are other people that are not agreeing with what Libra might want to do right now. So, you know, the issues of fairness may be hotly debated, but they may not be resolved at the moment. However, since these 3 planets in Capricorn are so strong, they will predominate now. In other words, they're being trined by Uranus in Taurus and also by Venus in Virgo. And that rules our health and our jobs. And Taurus rules our investments. And Capricorn rules management in big business, or large corporations or government agencies, and it rules your career and your long-term security. So those are the things that are really well emphasized right now. Business. So if you wanted to go forward with something, or you wanted to improve your health, or you wanted to look over your investments a little bit more, maybe rearrange things, or you just might want to go for a promotion of some kind. As long as you're addressing practical concerns, I think that this is a good time for you to, in fact, it's an optimum time for you to go ahead and really move forward with whatever goals you have right now. But remember, the title of the show is Secrets. Oh, what does that mean? Well, what it means is that there are also 4 retrograde planets, and it's the retrograde planets that are going to tell the tale. And by that I mean that Mercury has now moved into Scorpio, a fixed financial sign, and it is retrograde, and it is trining Neptune, which is retrograde in Pisces. And Neptune is the ruler of Pisces, and Pisces rules things that are hidden behind the scenes. And so what we may be able to see as these planets eventually go direct is that there can be secrets about activities behind the scenes that will be revealed. And so people in business organizations or in large government agencies can move forward, and so can you, but not all of them are going to make it. And the reason why they're either not going to make it or they're not going to be able to move forward is because of secrets. And so the news is going to come out. Remember, Mercury rules news, and Scorpio rules justice and survival, but also Scorpio is one of the 2 signs that rule detective work. Scorpio actually rules the spy business. Capricorn is the other sign that rules detective work. But as these 2 planets go direct, secrets are going to simply pour out, and we will learn the truth about things behind the scenes, and justice will be done. The other reason why there can be secrets is because that same Mercury in Scorpio, which is a fixed financial sign, is almost exactly opposing Uranus in Taurus, the other fixed financial sign. So we know that there's going to be some secrets coming out, and they will revolve around answering the question, who paid what to whom? In other words, we're going to find out, if we follow the money, just exactly what was going on behind the scenes. And that is coming up. And that's why not everyone is going to succeed right now, because as secrets come out, it's going to tell a different story about some people. Okay, what does this mean to all 12 of the sun signs? Well, Aries, remember you have Mars in your sign, and it is being opposed by this rather glorious sun and new moon in Libra, which does rule a lot of nice things. And yet, since it rules the law as well, and Mars is in your sign, I would say that you are not happy with some sort of pending legal decision that might be coming up. You might not be happy about a truce or a treaty. You might not be happy about some partnership issue or anything that has to do with a negotiation or diplomacy, and you may not feel in the mood for that as well. But remember, Libra rules the law and contracts, and there is the possibility, Aries, that a contract decision, although an issue of fairness may be hotly debated and not resolved at the moment, it will eventually be resolved, and I don't think it's going to be in your favor. So if you are in a contract dispute, I would drop it, Aries, because remember, you have Mars in your sign and it has no support. And so, you really need to look for greener pastures right now while you still have friends that can help you move on. And that would be the wisest thing for you to do, because the 3 planets in Capricorn are squaring that Mars in your sign, and they are fortified and they are much stronger, and that means the people that want to forge ahead and just get business underway are willing to not listen to the clamor and the chaos and the jealous vindictive claims of others. They're just going to move ahead anyway. And it's going to be beneficial for a lot of people. So I think if you don't want to be part of that team, Aries, you got to go find a new team, and the sooner the better. Okay, what does it mean to a Taurus? Well, Taurus, this is an optimum time for you to do some problem solving. And that is because of the 5 planets that are in a grand trine in Earth signs right now. All of them are direct except Uranus in your sign. And so this is, since they're all supporting each other, particularly the 3 planets in Capricorn that are trining your sun, and Venus is your own ruler, and it's in Virgo, also trining your sun. Oh, you couldn't ask for anything better, Taurus. So this is a very good time for you to address workplace problems, or address financial issues that need to be resolved. Okay, maybe you don't have the answers right now, but boy, you could go and get some answers, particularly from more experienced people that would be quite willing to help you. And at the same time, since Virgo rules diet and nutrition and our health, you could get some good news about that too. So I think you've got if you're facing any kind of a challenge this week, Taurus, I would just face it head on and go for it. At the same time, if there are financial problems, you need to be careful and get all the facts before you make a decision, because remember that Mercury in Scorpio is opposing Uranus in your own sign, and there could be a rather surprising fluctuation in the value of something. I'd check all your records, Taurus, right now and verify that whatever these records are saying is the value of something. I double check and make sure that's still the same value right now. Make sure that nobody has any secrets right now, and particularly not you either. Okay, what does it mean to a Gemini? Gemini. The sun and the new moon in Libra trine your sun sign. Isn't that wonderful? For one thing, it could mean that there is some peace overture, or there is a new partnership coming your way, or there can be some way that you can work very easily with somebody else, even if it's on a part-time basis. But on a broader scale, there's also the possibility of a very favorable legal issue that is resolved pretty much the way you want it, Gemini. And also there could be a contract that is just a really good contract, or involves a good issue or a good person, and that too can work out in your favor right now. It doesn't mean that there aren't some sore losers around. There are, and so you need to try to stick to really peaceful people right now, or no one if you can't find any peaceful people, because actually there is going to be some favorable legal judgment that comes your way, Gemini. And I think that I would advise you to make the most of it right now, because the sun and the new moon are not going to stay in Libra, but that's where they are right now, and they are trining your sun. So whatever favorable partner or legal contract that is coming your way, it will very greatly affect your future. Remember, the lights are trining Aquarius as well, so good luck. Okay, what does it mean to a Cancer? Oh, Cancer. This is a time when you just have to be really, really careful. And if I were you, I'd be real quiet right now, Cancer. And that is because you actually have 6 planets. Yours is a cardinal sign. In cardinal signs, all squaring and opposing your sign. Makes it a little hard to reach a favorable conclusion, or it makes it a little hard for you to get your way right now, Cancer, and so I don't think you're going to. And that is because the sun and new moon in Libra are squaring your sun, so there could be what you might call technical difficulties connected to some sort of partnership issue or contract or some sort of law. And so you would have that to contend with as well. And then there can be people who are actually sore losers right now that have been denied something, and they know they've lost ground, but they're going to push pretty hard anyway. You have to stay out of their way, Cancer, because that Mars in Aries is squaring your sun. So I mean, Cancers like to sort of back away from very aggressive people. Well, you're going to need to do that this week, Cancer. So plan on spending some time at home if you can, because the 3 planets in Capricorn, Jupiter, Saturn, and Pluto, are also all opposing your sun sign, meaning that powerful people in large corporations or government agencies are going to do what they have to do in order to solve financial or workplace problems so that they can be successful in the long run. And so this is perhaps going to affect you, Cancer, and I think you're going to be thrown back a little bit more on your own reserves. So, you have a lot of talent, and so you may have a time coming up when you've got to use a little bit more of that talent instead of relying on others. And I think that you can. I think you can do that, but it will be challenging. Okay, what does it mean to a Leo? Well, Leo, remember there are no planets in the other fire signs. So even though that Mars, which is retrograde in Aries, is trining your sun, nothing else is in fire signs, because there's nothing in your sign and there's nothing in Sagittarius as well. And Leo, I just think that this is a time that you need to be a little bit more careful about the facts. And the facts about what? Well, any kind of personal information you should be very careful about. In other words, make sure it's all correct or updated. And the reason why is that Neptune in Scorpio is, or not Neptune, Mercury in Scorpio is squaring your sun. And so what does Scorpio rule? Well, it's a financial sign and it rules credit, debt, taxes, loans, grants, inheritance, insurance. And so you need to really make sure your records are all up to date, or there could be a little problem with that, Leo. So that's a good thing to check right now. Remember, this is a good problem-solving time because of the strength in the earth signs. So go ahead and check that, because that Mercury in Scorpio is being trined by Neptune in Pisces, and that simply means that secrets will come out. Just make sure that you've updated your information about things, or you corrected things before the secrets come out, and that way you'll look upright and honest, and that will be good for you, Leo. So just be real careful with information right now and make sure that it's all really correct. Okay, what does it mean to a Virgo? Well, Virgo, this is a wonderful time for you. Venus is in your sign. It's being trined by Uranus in Taurus and by all three planets in Capricorn. So this is an optimal time for you to address any problems that you are facing right now, Virgo, because one, you're going to get a lot of help from old friends. Remember, Saturn is trining Venus in your sign. And it also could mean that you are really in line for a promotion right now, which would be great. And also your health can be improving, and your anxiety level can even be shrinking a little bit, which is good because you are such a worrier. But you don't have that much to worry about right now, Virgo. And in fact, you're very popular. So I think you should enjoy that. And you should realize that the steady efforts that you have been making in face of a lot of problems is rather impressive to others. And so I think they're going to do you a favor. Lucky you. Okay, what does it mean to a Libra? Well, Libra, the sun and new moon are in your sign, and they certainly accentuate all the things that are dear to your heart, Libra, such as peace and partnership, love and marriage, and tact and diplomacy, and, just generally getting along with other people. Well, that certainly is what you would love right now, Libra. And also the arts and decorating are important to you, and the holidays are coming, so that could sort of stir up your creative juices as well. But you really are under a lot of pressure, and it could be from sore losers, because Mars in Aries is opposing your sun sign. And you could be getting a lot of pressure at work from people who are going to be making changes in the workplace or in corporations or government policies in order to ensure stability and prosperity in the long run. That could be a little challenging to you. But you're going to do just fine, Libra, as long as you stay away from the sore losers. So if anybody's coming at you and wants to argue or rehash an old argument, you got to make a great creative excuse and get away from them right now, because you won't win. And so don't argue. Just leave if you can. Okay, what does it mean to a Scorpio? Oh, Scorpio. You have Mercury in your sign, and that sun and new moon in Libra are right behind your sign, which means in the background of your life, you can be thinking about being much more peaceful. You might be considering a new partnership. You may also be wanting to settle anything that represents a financial or workplace problem, because if you settle it, which is a Libra trait, you would be able to get over it and then move on. The thing you need to be careful about is that as secrets come out, they might expose something. If you've been involved with something behind the scenes, that could be exposed. Also, the problem is that Mercury in your sign is opposing Uranus in Taurus, and that simply means that somewhere there will be a question about who paid what to whom, or who owes what. And you might be one of the people that's involved in that, Scorpio. So you need to be really careful with money right now. And also, if I were you, I'd quiet down a little bit. This is not a good time to draw attention to yourself. And so just be as quiet as you can. And just like Taurus, I would go over the financial paperwork and double check all that. Okay, what does it mean to a Sagittarian? Well, Sagittarius, you know, Mars in Aries is trining your sun, but there aren't any other planets. There's nothing in your sign and there's nothing in Leo. And so there can be some rather jealous, vindictive people who represent sort of sore losers right now, who have lost ground in their plans or in their arguments, and they can't recover that ground, so their strategy is to strike even harder. They may draw you in, Sagittarius, and you know that would be a fool's choice. You better not be drawn into anything that involves people who are angry, because when a person is angry and then even more angry and aggressive, sooner or later there's going to be some laws broken. And that would reflect very poorly upon you, Sagittarius, and on your future plans. Think about that. So this is a time to perhaps employ much greater discretion. And remember that, you know, moving fast is not always the right answer, but really thinking something through. And yours is an intellectual sign. You have a good mind. This is a better time for you to step back and use your fine mind to sort out information and finalize your long-term plans before you take a step. It's just an excellent problem-solving time for you. Okay, what does it mean to a Capricorn? Well, Capricorn, those 3 planets in your sign are just going to town. They're all conjuncting each other, which makes them twice as powerful. And they're part of a grand trine with Uranus in Taurus trining them and Venus in Virgo. So you're probably going to get some pretty good news about your health right now, Capricorn. And it could even be the health of your bank book, or you may happily find out that you've got a little more money than you thought you did. Maybe you've been pretty careful in your buying lately. Maybe you haven't been, you know, you've been watching the pennies a little bit. Well, that's good, because the more money you have, the more money you can devote to a future goal or plan. And you need to get on that, Capricorn, because the time is drawing close now. In November, there will be an offer coming to you, and you've got to be ready for it. So this is a time when, you know, you don't need to worry about secrets, because I don't think you have too many of those, Capricorn. But you really do need to concentrate just on what your plans are and how you're going to wind up this year, because it's a red letter year for you, and that's what you should be concentrating on, your career. Okay, what does it mean to an Aquarian? Aquarius. This is a time when I think that you really benefit from the fact that that sun and new moon in Libra are trining your sun. Lucky you, Aquarius. That means somebody very nice is headed your way. It also means a very favorable legal decision that can certainly influence your future in a wonderful, even an expansive way. In other words, it could draw you into something that's maybe new and a little bigger than you've done before, but you're certainly up to it, Aquarius. So this is a time when I think that your life opens up a little bit due to a favorable legal decision, or a truce, or a treaty, or something that is decided definitely in your favor, and that will affect your future in a way that it's sort of the sky's the limit, Aquarius. It's almost beyond your fondest dreams. So good luck. I think you're going to enjoy it. Okay, what does it mean to a Pisces? Well, Pisces, this is a time when I think that you are sort of sorting things out right now. And if you have any secrets, they will come out, Pisces, because Neptune is retrograde in your sign, and it's trining Mercury, the planet of the mind and communication, in Scorpio, which is also retrograde. When these 2 planets go direct, it simply means that any secrets you have will come out. So this is a good time to sort of clean up your act, Pisces. And excuse me very much for that, I'm sorry. And sort of prepare to wipe the slate clean so that you're ready for a better year next year. All right, thanks so much for tuning in. Remember, you can see the show and read our blog on our website, starborninstitute.org. Bye.